Peace. This is Brian McCoy coming back at you just one more time because I had an interesting story that I just felt the need to share. It's about this. I used to watch this show. It was actually my favorite show. It was called I Shouldn't Be Alive. And it's about these people who somehow end up in these crazy life or death situations. And one of my favorite episodes was about this guy who went scuba diving. And they get out into the middle of the ocean somewhere in the world, and everybody else goes down and they get off the boat and they go underwater and they go on scuba diving. And everyone else gets up, and after the trip is finished, everybody else gets up and gets on the boat, ready to go home, no problem. But this one guy, he somehow ended up caught up in some sort of a current or some drift current or something like that. And by the time he came up above the water, the boat was gone. So he looks up and he's looking around, and there's no boats, no land, nothing for miles. And initially he panics, hoping that maybe the boat will circle back around for him, but the boat never comes back for him. So now this guy is literally floating around in the middle of the ocean. No land around, no boats, nothing. And in this guy's mind, he immediately thinks, this isn't good. So he makes the best of it. He swims and he tries his hardest to get to someplace, but he's just drifting around. And he finally musters up the courage, and he says, I'm going to swim back to safety. And he swims, and nothing. No boats, no land, nothing. A day or so goes by, and this piece of driftwood just floats by him in the ocean. And this guy is exhausted by now. So he takes this piece of wood and he rests on it. And for the first time in probably a day and a half of him being stuck in this ocean, he rests and he can actually fall asleep on this little piece of log. He's comfortable with this little piece of log that drifted his way. So after a few hours, maybe a day goes by of him floating around on his log, it hits him. He realizes that I'm not going anywhere attached to this log. As long as I keep this log with me, I'm not going to be able to make any moves. I'm not going to be able to do anything. But he thinks to himself, I'm comfortable with this log. I've gotten attached to this log. This log is making me nice and comfy. I can rest on this log. But then he says, but if I keep resting on this log, I'll never be able to swim to my destination. I'll never be able to make it where I'm trying to go. And so he keeps with the log, and he keeps the log, and he rests, and then he realizes that the more time that goes by, the smaller his chances of reaching his destination. So now he has to make a decision, and he says, well, I can't swim to my destination. I'll never make it to my destination as long as I'm relying on the comfort and the safety that this log is providing me. So he decides, what's more important, surviving and floating around in the ocean until he eventually dies, or to try to make an attempt to get to his destination, to try to make an attempt to rescue and to save himself. So he decides he's going to try to swim with the log, but the log is too heavy. He decides he'll never be able to make it with the log. So eventually, after thinking and careful consideration, he lets the log go. But then he's scared of what's going to happen to him without that log. So he swims after the log, and he chases it down, and he swims after it, and he catches the log and says, I'll never let you go again. A few hours goes by, and it hits him again that he's not going to be able to do anything. He's not going to be able to go anywhere. He's not going to be able to swim to his goal or his destination attached to that log. So he makes the big decision. He lets the log go. Long story short, after he lets the log go, he just makes a vicious attempt at swimming. I mean, this guy is just swimming and swimming and swimming. He's giving it all he has to make it to his destination. He swims and he swims and he swims and he fights and he fights and he swims, and eventually he looks up and he sees an island. And he swims to the island and he gets there and finds someone, and eventually he swims to his destination. He swims to safety and he makes it. But that would have never been possible had he not let go of that log that he was so comfortable with, that log that he grew so attached to. I guess the reason why it was my favorite episode, the reason that it meant so much to me, is because how many of us are holding on to dead-end jobs that we absolutely hate going to? How many of us are holding on to toxic relationships that we know we have no business in? How many of us are holding on to anger, hatred, bitterness because of something someone has done to us in the past? How many of us are holding on to a fear of failure from things that we might have attempted in the past that we might not have been successful in, that we may have failed in, and so we're scared to try again? So we're holding on to those fears. That log is our fear. That log is our toxic relationship. That log is our dead-end job that we're holding on to, but we're scared to death to let it go because it makes us comfortable. We're scared to let it go because that's all we know. We're scared to let it go because without it, who's going to protect it? How am I going to live without this log? So the question that we would all need to ask ourselves is, are we trying to just survive? Are we trying to just float around until we die? Are we trying to survive, or are we trying to live? The one thing that the guy floating around in the ocean came to the realization of was that I want to live. I don't want to survive till I die. I want to live. And that's what enabled him to make the decision to let it go. So I ask you to take full inventory. And I'm going to do the same thing as I'm telling you to do it, but take full inventory of yourself. Take full inventory of your life. Make a determination, and once you've made the determination that you deserve better, you deserve more, you deserve more money, you deserve to do what it is that you want to do to earn a living. You deserve to work where you want to work and do what it is that you want to do. You deserve to be in a happily committed, loving relationship. You deserve love. You deserve a successful business. You deserve to win. You deserve to live. When you make that determination, what you're going to have to do in order to make it to that destination, that log that's holding you back, you gotta let it go. The only way to make room in your life, the only way to free your hands up, the only way to free space up in your life for new opportunities, for new challenges, for new greatness, is to let go of the things that you've been clinging on to from the past. And so once you've determined that you want more, you need more, you deserve more from life, you've got to take that toxic relationship and let it go. You got to take that dead-end job that you might be working at, you know is a dead-end job. You got to take it and let it go. Your fear of failure, maybe from past failures when you tried things and they didn't work out, you got to take that fear of failure and let it go. You got to take that doubt and let it go. Take that lack of faith and let it go. Take that anger, that hate, that negativity, that bitterness, and let it go. Because you cannot possibly grab all of the greatness and all the blessings and all the beauty that's coming your way You cannot grab it if your hands are still full of all of that stuff from the past that you're scared to let go of. I'll tell you exactly what's going to happen. As soon as you decide to let it go, what's going to happen is you're going to start swimming. And you're going to swim. And you're going to swim and swim and swim. And you're going to look up, and right before you is going to be the life of your dream. It's our time. Let's go. Peace.